Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. And I think I have a bingo here. I think Rotolos is good. Where's the best spot for it? Probably not a huge amount of difference between these. And this may not be good. Let's find out. And it is. Well, excellent start. I now have a vowel-heavy rack. But is there a 5-vowel 8 here? I don't think there's a 5-vowel 7. Let me consider the consonants on the board, and they're all pretty bingo-y. Not seeing anything with the R. T looks promising. Erionite. Fantastic. So I do have a bingo through the T at the moment. How about the L? No, not seeing anything. And the S. Wow, again, this looks promising. Gosh, opponent's blocked my Erionite spot. So, reverting to the S. Is there something here? Not seeing anything. So, how about the 2-letter combinations? Close to orientate, but I don't have it. Nothing with woe, not seeing anything with EL. So I now have 7 1-point tiles. So my scoring potential is pretty small. Do I have a double-double in column 5 or column 11? Well, I do, because I have Noisia. 28 points. I am putting vowels next to triple letter squares, but putting two such vowels is better than one, because it means I shall have first shot at one of them. So Noisia for 28. Quite a nice rack, and I'm just wondering about or like. I think that's good. Does it play? Well, it does. It plays in row F because of eat. Does it play anywhere else? Don't think so, but I note that my K can go next to the O, and I don't think opponent can block the bingo and that spot, so I'm in reasonable shape here. Do I have an 8? Okay, so 16 points for opponent. Has he provided anywhere new for or like? I don't think so. So I think this is the only bingo I have. 476. And my bingo run ends. For the moment at least. And this is an interesting rack. I've drawn 2 of the high scoring tiles. The Q is probably the more important one to get rid of. But I need to consider the options available for both. So in terms of Q plays, there are no available U's on the board. I do have an I on my rack for Chi. So where can the Q play? It can play above the I of or like. I've also got Chin in row E. What else is available? Both of those options involve playing just the Q and not scoring very much. Well, 22 for Chi. That remains available. Opponent plays a U, but it's not available for my Q. Now, do I have something better in column 1? Not with the Q, but since there are such slim pickings with the Q, maybe I should consider playing the J first. Can't see a way of getting the J doubled. And I can't see anything in column 12. Well, I've got nothing which goes after IN. I think I am going to play Chi. I do have JAI on my rack, and in general, vowels help high-scoring tiles, and there's no particular reason to hang on to the Q. I draw a Y. I still don't have anything great through this O. R only takes an E underneath it. Well, I have Joey in column 1. It does retain duplicate I, but it takes out that dangerous lane and scores well. Now, what I also have is J in column 9, and that's going to score really well. Again, it's going to leave me with 2 I's, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Only 3 I's left. And J is going to score about 40 or 50 points. And I note that I already have a 130-point lead, so I'm in good shape. Great, opponent takes out column 1 for not a particularly big score. I have J for 47. Well, I now have triplicate I and 5 vowels on my rack, but I suspect it's still too good to change. So what is available? I have an I for going after the Q, so I could just play EIK, the rack leave of EIICD, probably component part of quite a few bingos, and that would be 18 points. Do I have something better? And in particular, is there a way of playing off 2 I's? I could play Dicia in column 3, sticking a D in the middle of row A. Not great with 2 blanks to come. I have Iridic, which plays off all 3 I's, but for a pretty miserable score. However, it doesn't give very much away, so that might be worth doing. Keeping double E. I don't have anything which goes next to YE. Good score for opponent, and he blocks my Iridic and Dicia spot. So, what to do here? Well, quite tricky. I guess I've still got the Ike spot here, and I quite like this rack leave. If I draw, it's only problematic, I think, if I draw two vowels, which does happen quite often, but 18 points is a nice score. I could play DEI in column 11 for a worse rack leave and setting up access to the triple word square at the top right, so I don't particularly like that. And it would be for fewer points, so that's out. I'm going with this. I draw 2 consonants. Onto a T, I would have incident. I can't see a 7 with this rack. I have a lead of 130 points. Not seeing anything beginning with R or through E and R. And not too many hot spots on the board. Do I have a play beginning JA? Don't think I do. I can't get any value from the Z. So pretty slim pickings on this board with this rack. I do now have a tile which goes after YE, but if I played in column 12, I'd be setting up a bingo lane for bingos ending S. However, such a lane already exists in row L, so that's not as bad as it otherwise would be. But in any event, I'm not seeing anything great in column 12. Ike takes an R and an S in front. Now, if I played off just IN, then the rack leaves pretty good. So that might be worth considering. I've blocked Ninja. I can't play in above Shay. I do have it in column 7, but that's providing... I think that's giving too much away for too little score. So not a great position to be in. However, I do have a very good lead, and opponent could well be in the same position unless he's about to bingo. The board's quite good for bingo lanes. Not only is there row L, there's also column 2, but the row L is the really dangerous one for me. So, can I do anything about that? NYE is good. Now, opponent obliges, does provide somewhere good for IN, but should I be playing off more tiles? Maybe a 5-letter play? I can't see any 5-letter plays beginning NE or NI. Could be one. So this is what I was thinking of. Playing just IN, not particularly dangerous. Nothing goes in front of no. And I'm going with this. I quite like this 5-letter set. Well, that's not a good pickup. Just duplicating tiles on my rack and vowels as well. So I'm not seeing a 7 with this rack. What about the floating consonants on the board, which I think is just an R? Not seeing anything with that. So I'm in a similar position to last time, but possibly a little bit worse. I have Edenic on my rack, which would have been a nice play in row B had I not blocked it within. Can't see anywhere else for that. I still don't have anything beginning JA, which gets doubled. And I'm not seeing anything in column 12 using the N hook for Ye, which splits up the duplicate I. So opponent played off just OR. He could be hanging on to 5 really good tiles. But I am 2 bingos ahead, so I am in good shape. Now what I can do next turn is DEI for 16 points, keeping a nice rack lead. That stays available. Opponent provides 2 new floating consonants. So, do I have anything with the T in precisely 5th place? No, I don't think I do, and I don't have anything with the N. And opponent has blocked that really good bingo lane, which is good. So I'm going to play DEI for 16. Through an R, I would have Canagra, but no R's available in the right place. Just 21 points for opponent, that's good. I'm not seeing anything with the N or the T. So just generally not seeing anything with this rack. I have engage, but that doesn't reach the double word square. And this is one of those racks which is really bingo-y, so or feels fairly close to a bingo, so one is reluctant to split it up. But you don't want to get into the pattern of just playing off a couple of tiles and scoring 15 points for several moves on the trot. Only an L goes after Jai. Yin takes an A in front. GA not good. Well, I could play Kaz. This rack leave, although vowel heavy, is quite nice. The rack, the player's giving nothing away, and 17 points is a good score. Can I do anything better than this? I don't think so. I'm going with this. Great, I was just glancing down and seeing that both blanks were yet to come. I've drawn one of them. And this looks a pretty bingo-y rack. Surely I am bingoing here. I have berating and rebaiting in row K. Both remain available. I was going to say I have embracing in column 15. I don't. I think it's likely that most bingos are going to end ing. But I'm not seeing one beginning EM. Berating scores about as low as you can get for a bingo. Runt takes an S or a Y. So I have eBaying. For 76. It doesn't take anything in front, it only takes an S after it. I am going with this. And I'm rewarded with this monstrously horrible rack. However, I've got a 180 point lead, which is bordering on 3 bingos, and just 17 tiles in the bag. So there are a couple of nice 4-letter words which sort this rack out. There's humph and there's vame. Now, do either of those play? Well, they both play in column 7. So that may be my destination. And I'm not seeing anywhere else for them. A play of Vum would be quite nice as well. That could play in column 7, but it's not particularly better than Vame. Still one blank to come. Let me check the remaining vowels because there don't appear to be very many. 5 out of 22 tiles. Wow, that's hardly any. And that makes my play of humph look a lot nicer, keeping A and E. It also makes this E of eBaying slightly more valuable. It might enable my opponent to score well. Okay, so 27 for opponent. He burns a vowel, which is good. I think this game is in the bag. I'm going to play Vame. If the opponent wants to play in row A, he's not going to score very much, and he's going to have to burn precious vowels to do so. And if I draw an E, I would have fave. If I draw an S, of which there are 3, I would have fave us. I'm going with this. I do draw an S, so I have favus, although that would burn both my vowels rather. So do I have anything better than favours? That would be 33 points. Not surprisingly, I am consonant heavy. I drew only consonants. Wow! Great bingo for opponent. I really wasn't expecting that, but a great bingo. And look at the remaining tiles, an absolute horror show. I lead by 102, which is a lot less than I was leading by a little while ago. 3 tiles in the bag. This is what I'm thinking of, keeping PPT. And I think I will go with this. 33 points is a good score, and the game is in the bag. And there's a floating U. And there's also UR. And there's this AE spot. Although my P doesn't go there. Just checking to see if opponent's X can go there, and it can't. Yeah, just wondering if opponent could play something like Cox's, but FO not good. I'm going with this. Wow, I draw the blank. Sadly not the E as well. But I'm 130 points in the lead, which is pretty good. I don't think there's going to be anything particularly great on offer. This is a horrible rack. But I think opponent's going to struggle to go out in 2. He may be able to, in which case I get 1 go. But otherwise, I get the opportunity of playing twice, which means that I should be looking to see if I can go out in 2. And that's probably quite a stiff ask with this rack. I can see that I have dep, add and up for 21 points. Nice score for opponent, 38 points. He's not going out with BGST. So, can I go out in 2 with this rack? 9 minutes on my clock, so I've got a ton of time. I'll probably spend less time looking for an out in 2 than I would in a tournament. So what can I do here? These tiles really don't look great. Is there any way I can do anything at the bottom? I don't think there is. Well, I could play vid for about 25, keeping PPT. Can't see anywhere of playing that. Just looking around for spots to play my P's. Not really seeing any. Now if I play dep, I'm denying myself the opportunity of playing vid. That's 21 points. Let me just take this back. I would like to make some effort to play something half decent. Through an I would have vapid and pavid. This U not as useful as I hoped it might be. I've got pup. Well, I think I'll play vid. I think I'll play pup for 11, then I have vid next go. Seven minutes on my clock. Surely there's something I'm missing. Leasing takes a P in front, but I can't use that. I'm going with pup because opponent has no vowels, so that's taking one out. So 7 minutes on my clock, 7 minutes on opponent's clock. He might stick his B in front of the I. Well, he doesn't. He goes up here for 25 points. He's got ST. He is going out in 1. So I'm going to play vid for 25. And opponent could play ST and leasings. If he doesn't go out, I've got TI, I've got it, so I certainly am going out. But I suspect opponent's got quite a few outs. He's got WAST in column 8. Yeah, he goes out. And the final score, 375 for my opponent, 469 for me, a winning margin of 94 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first, and I had Rotolos. That looks like the only bingo. Opponent's rack. Plays Or. And I have Noisia, but Oneria also available as a double-double in column 5, but Noisia retains a better rack lead, so I prefer it. Opponent's rack. Wow! Has Douanier through the N, doesn't spot it. Plays Radio. And now I have Or-like, which was the only bingo. Horrible rack for opponent. Plays U. Wow, Agi for 40 points. Possibly worth considering. I play Chi for 22. But I think that's fine, because I am retaining the tiles for Agi. Now, opponent's rack. He has Elocute on his rack, but nowhere to play it. Plays Clout. And now I have J for 47, which looks fine. Opponent's rack. He plays Shay. And now I hit Heavy Weather, but I was 100 points ahead. So I played Ike for 18. D-Ice, K12. D-Ice and Erd. Well, that's providing very useful floaters. It's opening row O, and it's a worse rack lead than after Ike, so I prefer my play. Opponent's rack. Wow, again he has a non-playable bingo in Snorter. Plays Or. Dynic for 45 points. That's the big play I missed. So I play in for 16. So that was a big miss. Opponent has Runnets. Doesn't see it. Plays Runt. And this is my rack. Dynic available elsewhere. And Erd. So I play Die for 16. 10 fewer points. But I'm keeping quite a good rack lead. Yeah, I'm keeping Nice. So is Nice 10 points better than Double E? I would say Double E is probably worth about 0 or minus a little bit. Nice must be worth, well, probably only 8 or 9 points, so I think those moves are close. Opponent's rack. Another missed bingo. He has Engors at H2 and TE. Doesn't spot it. Plays Drone. And this was my rack, and I played Kaz for 17. Keeping quite a good rack leave. So I like that, and it's giving nothing away. Opponent plays Fem. And now I have eBaying for 76. But I also have I12. Sabaying for 8 more points, but opening up row O, so I think I prefer my play. Opponent's rack, and yet again he has a non-playable bingo on his rack, wasting and its anagrams. Plays Tor. I7. Wow, look at that. Hem for 40 points, keeping AFUV. So I play Vame for 20. Yeah, Hem, I think probably a better play. And this was a great bingo for my opponent, given how grim the bag looked, or the unplayed tiles looked. Actually has a choice of bingos. So now I lead by 102. There are 3 tiles in the bag. I play Favus. However, look at this, off puts A13. Wow, I think that would have been a better play, keeping just PP for 32 points. 07, Forts available for 38. Again, probably a better play than my one. Opponent's rack, he finds the best play. And now I've got this grim rack. So I played pup, it didn't feel best. Let me just see what Examiner 1 thinks is best. The immediate suggestion is vid. Yeah. And, well, I think all of these are going to win 100% of the time, but it's coming up with vid. I play pup. Opponent plays beg. And now I do play vid. And opponent can go out for 15 and does go out for 12. So, absolutely cracking game. A flying start with Rotolos. It didn't look very promising with 3 O's, but it's always important to look for a bingo, however unpromising the rack, because as in this instance, there can be a bingo on occasion. So, cracking game. I got some good tiles, established a good lead, and in the end it was fairly comfortable. So, I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.